Hello and welcome to Scholar Fedu. This is our UTME Prep series where we provide relatively detailed solutions and explanation to the UTME question. And in this recording, we're looking at the UTME questions for biology for the year 2020. Okay, and this is the second part of the recording where we look at the last 20 questions. Alright, before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and share our content, and visit our website at scholar.com to practice UTME exam and modular quizzes free. Alright, the first question says again, the ability of the eyes to focus on both near and distant objects is termed. So the ability of the eye to see objects that are close and distant is termed accommodation. Okay, it is called accommodation. Next, on ecology, a group of organisms of different species living in a particular habitat is described as a. This is a description of a community. A community in ecological study is an interacting group of organisms of different species, okay, of different species in a given habitat. Next, also on ecology, the biological association that contributes directly to succession in a community is competition. So competition is what arises when you have organisms, like many organisms in a given habitat, where the resources there are limited. Resources like food, like shelter, like mates are limited. So what happens is the organisms have to battle it out, okay, for access to this resource. Next question: floating microscopic heterotrophs are mostly grouped as. They are zooplanktons. They are small aquatic heterotrophic microorganisms that float in water. Next, also microorganism. Vaccination is carried out in order to. So vaccination is a preventive measure against viral diseases, and what it does is it helps to stimulate the production of antibodies, okay, in the body that helps to fight against viral infection. Next, on digestion and living organism. For growth to occur in organisms, the rate of so generally we have metabolic reactions in the body, and there are two parts to metabolism: anabolism and catabolism. Anabolism is the build-up process that occurs, okay, the build-up processes that occur in the body. That is the processes by which larger molecules are developed or built from smaller molecules, while catabolism is like the opposite or the reverse of it. That is the process by which large molecules are broken down into smaller molecules. So for an organism to grow, okay, for growth to occur, there should be more of building up than breaking down. So there should be more of anabolism than catabolism. So basically the rate of anabolism must exceed that of catabolism. Next question on genetics and heredity. The probability of a baby being a boy or a girl depends on the contribution of gene. Alright, so the female, okay, or the mother, has one type of chromosome, and that is the XX chromosome, while the father has two types of chromosome, the XY chromosome. Now, the chromosome that is donated will determine the sex of the baby. The chromosome that is donated by the father will determine the sex of the baby. So if it is the X chromosome that is donated, and you can only have X also coming from the mother, that means the baby is going to have XX, and that will be female. But if it is Y that is coming from the father, and you have X from the mother, so you have XY, and that is male. So the sex of the offspring, whether it will be a male or female, is determined by the sex cells of the father. Don't be confused by the option, the somatic, okay, chromosome. So the somatic cells are growth cells. They are not reproductive cells. They are growth cells. Next, also in genetics, both recessive and dominant characters are found. Okay, so both are found on the same locus. They are found at the same locus of a homologous chromosome. Also in genetics, in a population of living things, the parameters of size, height, weight, and colors are examples of. These are examples of continuous variation, in that the organisms cannot be grouped into distinct group. Okay, so people are of varying size, height and weight, and these variations are very large. Okay, but for example, if you look at blood group is an example of discontinuous variation, in the sense that there are only four blood groups: the blood group A, the blood group B, the blood group AB, and the blood group O. So any given organism, okay, human, okay, would have one of this blood group. It's either of blood group of B, or AB, or O. So that means we can group everybody into one of these groups. So you can have somebody, any given person would belong to one of this group. So this is a discontinuous variation, since we can categorize the organism. But in the case of things such as size, height, weight, and colors, you cannot categorize people into distinct groups, and so they are continuous variation, unless you decide to place a category on it. For example, in terms of height, let's say you say, okay, let's have a category for tall people, and then you give it a range. A category for medium people that are of medium height, so you give it a range. And a category for people that are people that are short. Okay, so then you give it a range. So in that case, we can categorize. But to categorize everybody into a particular group, that will not happen with size, height, weight, and colors. We have a website at scholar.com where you could practice exams for free, the UTME exam and the post UTME exam. It also features modular quizzes in physics, chemistry, and biology. So if you've studied a topic in any of the subjects and you want to test your understanding of the topic, you can head on to our website at scholar.com and take modular quizzes for free. Also, if you sign up on the website, it has a personalized dashboard where you could use to check your progress in learning. We also have interactive sessions on the website and on our social media platform. Freebies are also available to top performance on the website. So next question 30. The process of, we have a diagram here, okay, the process of water loss and intake indicated by the arrows labeled I and IIR. So water loss will occur by exhalation. Exhalation is when the organism breathes out. So when it breathes out, some water vapors, okay, accompanying the respiratory gas. Okay, so you have exhalation, while the intake of the water is through osmosis. Question 31, using the same diagram, the noticeable adaptation of the animal to its aquatic habitat is the possession of the possession of what we call webbed digits. So this organism here has webbed digits, which allows it to move. Okay, it helps with swimming in its habitat. Next, on genetics and hereditary, paternity disputes can most accurately be resolved through the use of a DNA test, or DNA analysis can be used to determine whether an individual is the father of a child. Okay, so we can use DNA for paternity disputes. A positive result, okay, will imply that that child belongs to the said father or individual. We would also use this test to identify a rapist in a situation where, let's say, the rape incident leads to the birth of a child. Next, we have a table here of some ecological zones, temperature, and rainfall. And the question is, high relative humidity will be expected in zones. So high relative humidity will be expected in zones that have low temperature, that are characterized by low temperature and high rainfall. And if we look at this table here, the zones that have the lowest temperature, relative to rainfall, the zone I, if you look at the temperature and the amount of rainfall, okay, and the zone III. Okay, so these zones are characterized by low temperature and high rainfall. The reason why we're not taking IV here is because if you look at the amount of rainfalls in these two, realize that it is way more than this. It's like multiple of this. So we need to compare both factors, the temperature and the rainfall, not just the temperature, not just one of the factors. So these ones have a balance of it, low temperature and high rainfall. Why this one has low temperature but the amount of rainfall is not high, or let's say as high comparatively to these ones that we have here. Next, using the same table, which of the zones is likely to be a desert? So deserts, dry land or arid land, they are usually characterized by by high, very high temperature and low rainfall. And if you look at this table here, the zone that has the highest temperature here is 45 degrees Celsius is the zone I, and it has the lowest amount of rainfall. So this zone is likely to be a desert, okay, a dry land. Next question on irritability. When bacteria swim from cold to warm regions, this is known as, that is positive thermotaxism. So thermotaxism is the response to heat, okay, the response to heat. Now it could be positive or negative depending on what direction the organism in question is moving to. If the organism happens to be moving towards the region that has the higher heat, okay, towards the region of higher temperature, that is positive thermotaxism. But if it is moving toward, away from the heat source, away from the region of high temperature to, like the region of lower temperature, that will be negative thermotaxism. But in this question here, we have the bacteria moving from cold to warm region. The warm region is of an higher temperature than cold region, so it is moving towards a region of higher temperature, like moving like close to the heat source, so that is positive thermotaxism. Phototaxism is response to light, okay, while chemotaxism is response to chemical. You can also join our online tutorial classes for different classes. We have tutorials for students in SS1, 2 or 3. We also have for UTME candidates, for JAMB candidates, for students who want to write the JAMB or the UTME exam, and for those who want to have the post-UTME exam after the UTME exam, and also for candidates that are sitting for WAEC exam or GCE or NECO. And we offer this tutorial on various platforms, so you could join us on WhatsApp or on Telegram, you could be on Zoom or on Google Classroom. So you have various platforms where we take our tutorial. The links to join the platform are available on our website at scholar.com, or you could also check it out in the video description below. Next question on genetics. Which of the following is the best explanation for a child who is phenotypically short and born of two parents? Two tall parents. Right, if the parents are tall, if both parents are tall, that means that the gene for tallness is dominant over the gene for shortness. Now, for two tall parents to give birth to a child that is short, that means that both of the parents must have a gene, must possess a gene for shortness. It means that they must have this type of gene here, this heterozygous type of gene. Capital T here is the gene for tallness, the small t is the gene for shortness. Okay, so if you have this gene, this pair of gene in the father and the mother, there's a possibility that these two, like this small t here, the gene for shortness in the father, can cross, okay, doing crossing, can align with the gene for shortness in the mother as well, this small t. So the resulting child is going to be short. Alright, so the child is not a bastard, but what has happened there is that the gene for shortness that both of the parents carry, okay, is what has been contributed here, okay, and that is what the child has. So the child is going to have this pair of gene, okay, small t, which is the gene for shortness, and so the child will be short. Okay, so the answer here is both parents will possess genes for short. Next question, which of the following invertebrates has the most simple structured heart? From the given option, that is the fish. The fish has the simplest heart structure. The heart of the fish has only two chambers, one auricle, and one ventricle. Next question, we have a diagram. The type of protective adaptation exhibited by the animal is. So this is counter shading. We have it on animals like rats and rabbits. And what happens is that the color of the upper part of the plant, of the animal rather, that is this part, the appearance part of it, is going to be darker than the color of the underside of the animal. And the reason why you have that darker coloration here is to prevent the animal from the ultraviolet rays from sun. Okay, so that's counter shading coloration. It's a protective adaptation. All right, next question using the same diagram. The structure labeled I, that is this here, is it is tactile. It is tactile, meaning it is sensitive to touch. Okay, it is sensitive to touch. Okay, don't forget to check out our playlist. We have different playlists. We have for full solutions to UTME or JAMB questions and in physics, chemistry, and biology. We also have for modular quizzes as well. Okay, we'll also have a playlist for post UTME or post JAMB exam, and also for crash courses in physics, chemistry, and biology. So don't forget to check out our playlist for the available videos. So that's it for this recording. Thank you very much for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel at Scholar Fedu. Okay, like and share our content, and visit our website at scholar.com to practice UTM exam and modular quizzes for free. Thank you.